Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Megabox Gaming. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be playing some Fishing North Atlantic. I'm going to be showing you, giving you a couple tips and tricks on the trawling game, on how much fun it is. A lot of people say it's quite boring, that you're just sitting there looking at a screen for a long period of time, but I find it to be one of the most enjoyable ways to fish, and I can't wait for this feature to finally be implemented into ships at sea. And without further ado, let's get ourselves underway. Big ass girl. Come on, almost there. There we go. Come on, bow thruster, I need your help. Whew. Oh, we were gonna hit the dock there for a second. Let's make sure we got all of our lights on. Work lights don't need to be on at this moment. Don't need a searchlight. Rain lights and interior lights are on. We're all good. Come on, big girl, swing around. You got this. booster has hit back to center and off. But nonetheless, we're almost out of the port. And once we're out of the port, I will fast travel us to... I'll show you. Fast travel us out here, right here to the edge of this bank. And we're pretty much just going to set a waypoint, just from here straight south. It's pretty much what our game plan will be. Let's fast travel ourselves over here to Lohab Bank. Oh, beautiful. What time of day we got? 12 in the afternoon. Perfect time. Alright, so what we'll do is we're going to set ourselves a waypoint down this way. Gotta make sure we turn on our autopilot. We need it to be at, I like it, 4.5. Now we got our autopilot working. While that's going on, we can leave our control panel. Head over back here. Since it's daytime, I don't think we need the lights on. There. Those work lights will seem good. That dude over there is flying. And let's start getting our crew ready. Best thing to do, especially for crew, if you're going into trawling, is make sure you save up a bunch of money. Yes, to buy the trawler and to put all the upgrades you need to it. But one of the best and most efficient things you could do is take these crew members here and train them in whatever categories you plan on using them most at, because in the end they will significantly help, especially for this giant boat, the Hermes. If you get its full trawl of like 800,000 pounds, it takes a good minute. These people will be almost exhausted by the time they stack all of our machine gut, freeze, and stack all of this. But for the starters, we gotta make sure we get all of our machine gunners here first. See another one. Oh, there's a stacker. There's another machine gunner. I know I have 2 of them. And then I have a trawl crew. Oops. This game likes to do that. What we got here? Freezing, stacking. You're part of the trawl. You're also part of the trawl. Oh, you're part of the freezing. You're the trawl. And you're the trawl. Where are you? You're a stacker. What do you do, dude? You're for right now. We got all that good, good, good. Make sure everyone gets their positions. And we push the red button. Should have waited until we went perfectly straight, but we'll be fine. So now pretty much what we do, we just drop it in, watch it down. Now you'll notice, I'm sure there's an easy way to point, this will be the way, just look at where my cursor is. So you'll see you got this green bubble here, this green one here, and we got this little, basically crosshair right here. So that's the depth of the closest and nearest fish. But for the most part, you don't have to really worry about their depths all that much. If you pick a right depth and just let it run for a minute, usually you should be good. One thing you should always do is make sure you have your port and starboard wires at least 15 yards apart from each other. If you're running meters, I'm not 100% sure exactly what that would be, but you want to have them offset to have the biggest opening possible. But while this is going on, you need to go back here, pull everybody off of here, make sure I put everyone where they need to. Freezing stacking. I'm pretty sure this is how I have them. Stacking, okay. Stacking. Freezing stacking, alright. So these guys should all just work. And they'll take care of all of the fresh fish that I caught earlier. But as you can see already, we're already catching a whole bunch. We're currently at 7. That's a nice fat bloat right there. Just hold off right there. Our symmetry is off by a lot. Apparently our starboard wires went down a huge amount. So let's raise those up a little bit, try to get our symmetry back in order. Hold off for just a second. Make sure everything holds true. And drop them both back down and just pretty much leave it for a minute. Double check on your boys, make sure. These guys are going to take a good minute, but if you put everybody to their maximum efficiency, everybody should be able to pull from each of everything without taking each one down to 0. As you can see, these ones are the freezing sections consistently staying at 10,700-ish pounds. Stacking's consistently going up. And the machine gunning is very, very, very slowly going down. But by the time that 10,000 hits 1,000 or 2, the stack should be at least by 50, 60,000 of stacked frozen fish, which is what we're looking for. But these stacking people are going to get tired out super quickly. So as you can see, it says the nearest one is at a depth of 300 or 235 yards and a distance of 346 yards out. As you can see, we currently are within that range ever so slightly. Don't worry about the depth. Try to go as deep as you can that you're allowed to. You're always will be able to grab fish with relative ease. But pretty much at this point, it's just a waiting game. It's just waiting on getting close enough to their distance, but also chasing their depth. As you can see, they're slowly going deeper, so we need to start dropping this net as we get closer, trying to get within their range. We're going to probably want it to be, if let's say they're at 250 yards, we're going to want our starboard to be at least at 270, while our port is at 250. Try to keep them in between there. Just sit it and hold it like that for a second. Let everything catch up. The only downside about trawling, there we go. starting to hit a little bit of our patch. Oh, and it's gone. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more. But the one downside about trawling, though, is when you're in this screen, you'll watch your Scanmar, which is our big our thing in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. You'll watch the whole screen go blank. You'll watch the port and starboard doors start, their boxes just start flailing around. For some reason, which I just don't seem to understand, it feels like the game does like a soft reset or something while you're moving, or it's like refreshing the water around you, and when your trawl doors are in the water, it tends to fling the doors in every direction, and that has a high chance of throwing you and your boat all the way up into the stratosphere, which is just always super fun. Hello, Mr. Birds. We should hold off right there. Hopefully you get a piece of that school that's swimming up right to our off to our starboard side. But it's almost impossible to keep your trawl speed within the box. It's always going to fluctuate with going way too fast, way too slow, way too fast, way too slow. That one's 248, so we should start pulling up. I've had sometimes some very good luck of just leaving the trawl, not pretty much near its maximum depth, and then as I'm just reeling it up, I'll go AFK, and I'll come back 2 minutes later, and I'll find that I've caught 30% more fish just by pulling the net up. Doesn't seem to be happening so far right now. So what we'll do is, while that's happening, we'll go outside and enjoy nice beautiful sunny day. I don't remember if I can get up there on this one. Maybe I can. I think so. Can't wait until we get boats this size. Ships at sea. Pretty much the best part of these games is the trawlers. Barrett Sea was really fun. Like, you didn't even have to drain or destroy the population of the ocean. You literally went to your own instanced area, which was basically open water. And it was just a map that as soon as you got to the bottom of it, it would teleport you back to the top, and you just literally just keep going straight in one direction. That's all you really would do, and you just go through maps and maps and maps at a time and just fill it up. That's what I used to do with the lunar bow. That was fun. Oh. Looks like we haven't caught anything in that little bit of time. It's kind of sad. I guess what we'll do is we'll go pull this stuff up a little bit more. Let's doing that. Let's see how everyone's doing. There we go. Oh, the guys are at 0. Wow, look at that. They've already done 113,000 pounds of fish. So what we need to do is let these guys rest. Take her. Where are you? take her to machine gut because she's also trained in machine gutting, and that should help build up our machine gut in our freezer. Let these guys rust for a little bit because they're going to need it to finish off the other half of the trawl. That's a pretty good amount so far. And look at that. We hit ourselves another fishing spot. Oops. Oh, we should keep going up. Maybe we can still catch some of it. There. Let's figure out where these other swarms are at. Ooh, really close. So where are they gonna head? Are they heading up? They are heading towards the surface, so we need to plan ahead and be there before they get there. There we go. 4, 5. There we go. Start getting in that net. Oh. Come on, game, don't do this. Start the 4 wires down a little bit. At least we got some from there. Kind of disappointing though. Looks like our next one is down. So we got 67,000 pounds of fresh fish left. Actually, an easy way to check is to storage. There we go. Now I get to watch the stacked fish, frozen fish, and fresh fish. Slowly watch the fresh fish get slowly taken over by the gutted fish, and then slowly get taken over by the frozen fish. And the stacked fish will grow once we add our stackers back, and you'll watch that thing just start shooting up. But the reason why you train them all, especially your gutters, is you want all of your fillets to be 5 stars for the maximum. Obviously. But it costs a decent amount of money to get them to that position where they can actually start doing 5 stars constantly. I believe it's for each of the characters that I did, I ended up paying, I think, $250,000 per character that I maxed out each of their stats, so you can see how many of their stats. I probably spent about $5 million just on getting their stats to where I want them, just so that they're as efficient as possible. Because the worst thing about doing this trawling is if your characters or your deckhands aren't efficient, or if you just recently let's say bought a giant trawler, then bought these deckhands and then train them right up, you'll still have to level them up so that their stamina is high enough that they can do this for long enough, because they'll still at the beginning get tired really quickly. It takes multiple fishing trips for them to build up their stamina to the point where they're capable of doing the entire job without you having to take one dude away to put on cook so you can add food, so that these guys can get their health back faster, or their stamina back faster. That's what that green bar is. It's not a health bar, it's their stamina bars. Here we go do that. That allows for that. She can go back to freeze. And we can start stacking up. Start heading up a little bit. Stack of 4 like that. I'll leave that there for a second. Yeah, you can see our stack fish is just gaining rapidly with all 3 of them just working. $405. I'm not gonna be able to get anything off of that, but I will dive down there and see if we can get lucky. I think the deepest we can go is 330 yards if we're lucky. Maybe a little bit more before I'm at the maximum depth. Oh no, we're going a little bit further. Wow. It's a lot further than I remember it going. But we are catching some fish from the tail end of that, so we did end up making it deep enough. Wow, was not expecting that, to be honest. Ooh, we're getting a solid 2 for a good minute. Not bad, not bad. Now we bring it back up, and hopefully on the way up we come across an invisible school of fish that we don't see on the radar. That just starts filling up our net, which tends to happen a lot sometimes, but unfortunately in this video I don't seem to be having such luck. One thing that I know that has never happened is when it gets to that 80% plus where it says warning, cables might snap, I have never once had them snap. That must have been something that was implemented or happened way back when the game first came out. But I don't ever remember that ever happening. Even in Barrett Sea, it just felt like you were at the max. But that definitely would be a decent lesson to prevent you from don't leave it down there unattended for too long. Interesting thing is, let's see how far we've traveled to just pick up that much fish. I'd say we've traveled just over 1 nautical mile, I'd say, at this point into our journey. So in 1 nautical mile, so with the travel, we've almost filled up our net. I love trawling, but the thing that I really like doing in this game is using the harpoon. There's a lot of people who also don't like using the harpoon. They'd rather, for like the tuna and swordfish, they'd all rather deep line for them. I don't know. It's actually really fun if you can figure out their patterns, because they always swim in a specific circle, and unless you kill or catch too many of them too quickly, they won't change their swimming pattern. Let's say there's 5 of them in a group. You take two of them really quickly as they come around. If you park the boat just right, I usually park it so they swim just under the bow, like just under the front, so that I can literally throw straight down and immediately reel in and get one on the boat almost instantly to have enough time to turn around and do the second shot. Usually I've gotten pretty good to the point where I can get 2 to 3 in a very rapid succession, which is actually quite fun. When you pull it off, you spend, instead of spending money on bait, going out there, putting the deep lines in the water, and then waiting 18 to 20 hours, and then pick up all the deep lines, and then drive back to port in that same period of time of harpooning. I could just leave out at, let's say 4 in the morning, get to the spot, either the tuna fish or swordfish spot, by, let's say, first light, just as soon as the sun breaks, just so I have the maximum amount of light. I can fill the full throttle boat in an entire day. So that's like 30,000 pounds in an entire day, and then use that travel back. So in the amount of time they would just be sitting, I could just go out and fish and then just drive back in. So I'd save a couple hours. It doesn't look like we're really gonna get too much more, so I think we'll pull the rest of this out for right now. Sometimes when there's really not much going around on the Scanmar, sometimes it's best just to pull it completely out and then just drop it right back in. But I feel like we actually might get lucky here based on how that the swarm is moving. Yep. Well, that's what I thought. We'd get a little bit if we came down. Yeah, see, warning, reach the recommended load limit. Back in the day, I used to say, warning, wires might snap. Let's see if we can get some more of this and then hop up really quick. Especially if they're that close to the boat. Might as well try. Up really quickly. Drop them back down. Okay, we can be within its range. We get lucky. Wasn't much more, but it was definitely more, so ultimately worth it. Now let's pull these out, and while these are coming up, oh, looks like we're getting a little bit more. Yep, coming up with the last bit. Always when you get it in the red, when you start coming up, for some reason you always just find fish. We're not even on any, and yet we're just filling up. So we'll definitely be full, or almost full, by the time that gets to the top. They're just about done. These guys are completely done gutting all the fish. These guys are completely done freezing. So let's let them rest, even though it's going to be a short one. And they only have, look at that. So by the time we all got all this up, they had finished that 219,000 pounds of basically gutting, freezing, and stacking. But I've already done this once before I set out again before this video. So the boat after this should hopefully be almost half filled, or just about half filled. So most of the time you do what I just do, but you rinse and repeat it 4 times with this boat. If you have the maximum cargo space upgrade, if you just have the original cargo space upgrade, then you'd fill this boat up with just 1 net. And then you can just focus on your low level dudes, or let's say the new dudes that you just trained. You can focus on them building their stamina rather than them having to do 800,000 and you having to actually physically get up and go to the clock and actually skip time forward while they're resting so that they can get their stamina back so that they can machine gun and all that, because you cannot go to the port and sell anything that isn't stacked already, especially out of this boat. There are some, I believe, that you can just go straight to stacking, go from like machine gut straight to get stacking instead of freezing, but this one you have to do gut, freeze, and stack in that order every time in order to sell it at the port. I hate when it does that. Let's get these guys to set the trawl. Alright, we'll swap it in a second. You can go and help them. We'll switch to hauling the trawl. Looks like they're all good. Haul that in. One weird thing you'll see, like here at the top of the scan bar, you'll start seeing like it getting blurry. What's actually happening is that net, the game is actually registering it as clipping through this, I don't know, the scan bar as it's pulling it in. So whatever's hidden by the monitor is actually being, or the hitbox of this is actually coming through into the monitor. That's why you're seeing this, looks like heat coming off of it in a way. As you can see over there to the left, you see the water move, and you can see how the left one is doing that. That's literally just catching off of the water and thinking that there's still water where that screen is. Alright, so that was a nice, how much? 171,000. Not too much really there, I don't like that. 58,000 pounds of cod, 27,000 pounds of cod, so about 80,000 pounds of cod, 85. That's not the best. Alright. And then it's pretty much just rinse and repeat. And on that one, I thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give a like and a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. I would love for any comments to make my videos even better. Still just starting out, so any feedback is good feedback. Thank you again for watching, and bye-bye.